at a place where you're getting engaged and you're all excited about it, or you are getting married, or you're in a new relationship that you're seriously considering committing to. But there's something about how you're feeling right now. It's like there's a whisper, and it's quite scary, that actually everything is not quite right, and you're not sure what it is. If you're in this place, then please do watch the video until the very end. I shall be giving you some gems that you need to know what could be going on in this particular relationship that you are seriously thinking about committing to. So in today's video, I'll be giving you 10 subtle red flags for potential partner violence or abuse. These are crucial tips that you need to listen to and to take care of to see if what you are feeling fits into this. But before we dive into these tips, remember that knowledge is your greatest ally. By recognizing these red flags in your potential partner, you are taking a powerful step towards ensuring your safety and well-being, and especially if you have children. Sign number 1, controlling behavior. Has this partner that you're not very sure about, has he had controlling behavior, and has that made you uncomfortable? One of the earliest signs of whether there's going to be potential partner abuse is actually a controlling spirit from your partner. They tell you where to go, what to do, even what to wear, what to cook, how you look, what to eat, etc. That is a big warning sign. So you're like a puppet, okay? Sign number 2 is isolation. They actually want to isolate you from your friends, from your family. That is another red flag. I know I had it with my ex. It was as though they had to be there. And if they were not where you were, what they can do, or what he would do, is actually start saying things about me to my friends and to my relatives so that they can disconnect from me and isolate me. Abusers often try to cut you off your support system, leaving you feeling trapped, and then it's just you and them. Sign number 3, jealousy and possessiveness. You know, at first I thought this was really nice. Oh, he must really love me. You know, he doesn't want anybody to look at me. He must really love me. He must really care. Let me tell you what, it got so suffocating and so difficult to manage. Jealousy and possessiveness can escalate into violence. And for my case, it did. If your partner acts aggressively or accuses you without cause, it's time to be cautious. Many women I have actually walked with have talked about how that particular partner at the time used to accuse them of doing what they were doing. So if it was adultery, they were doing it, when your partner is jealous and possessive because you have not seen him rear the full head of that jealousy and possessiveness. It's horrible. Sign number 4, verbal and emotional abuse. Why would somebody who actually loves you be verbally or emotionally abusing you? Is that love really? And you know, these are the precursors to physical violence. If your partner belittles you, pushes you down, humiliates you, it's a big sign of danger. It's not about being loved, ladies. No, it isn't. So if you have seen verbal and emotional abuse, be very cautious, because those quickly escalate into violence. And I tell you what, again, this is just my own example, but that is what happened to me. And that was when I said, you know what? This is it. We are finished. We are done. But there had been emotional abuse all along. It's just that I believe that I loved this person so much and that they loved me so much that they couldn't do anything to harm me. It happened. So it just escalated. But there was that volatile, there's usually a volatile atmosphere, environment during that emotional and verbal abuse. So why shouldn't that explode? So if there's emotional verbal abuse, please be very careful, because that is the precursor, as I'd said, to physical violence. And sign number 5, intimidation. There are those intimidation tactics like, slamming doors, smashing objects, or making threats. Please do not ignore those. Don't ignore them. They can foreshadow physical violence. You can imagine if somebody's carrying that much rage in them, why shouldn't they lash out at you? And if you're actually afraid when they start doing that, it is actually telling you something. There's something not quite right. So please don't dismiss it, intimidation, through those kinds of acts. They haven't yet reached you, but they're physical. They're being released physically out there on the slamming doors and throwing things at you. It's going to turn into physical violence. Be wary. Sign number 6, gaslighting. Gaslighting is horrible. Gaslighting is when your partner manipulates your perception of reality to a point where you start thinking, is it me? Am I going mad? Because they twist things around so that instead of them being the persecutor and coming after you, you are their persecutor. And you know what? You start asking yourself, maybe it is me. So when they do that kind of manipulation, you know what? Be very, very careful. Where is it going to lead? Sign number 7, escalating violence. Now, we may not see this as being anything big, but it starts with, you're pushed, you're shoved, or any form of physical violence. You've been pinched, you've been shoved out of bed, etc., etc. Ladies, you know what I mean. But do not tolerate that, because these are signs again slowly leading up to what? Physical violence. And when it comes, you're going to be so shocked, because suddenly you realize, oh my God, why am I surprised? There's actually been red flags all the way. Sign number 8, fear. Oh my. You are constantly walking around like you're walking on eggshells, yeah? You're constantly afraid of your partner's reactions. It's a clear sign that something is wrong. Your safety should always, always come first, ladies. 8. Are you walking on eggshells? Ask yourself that, and why? Sign number 9, isolation from resources. My experience was all about financial abuse as well. So, they may control your finances or restrict access to resources, making it difficult for you to even seek help. I remember I had to cry and, I'd get hysterical to a point of, all I want is some money to go and buy da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Or all I want is us to put some money into a house help. All I want is somebody to help me do the gardening. Do you know what? He would fight me on that because he had the upper hand in the money side of things. So be careful. Is there financial abuse going on? Because that is the big one in many relationships where the emotional and verbal abuse actually becomes physical violence. Sign number 10, victim blaming. Does this sound familiar? It is always your fault, no matter what you do. Your partner will blame you for their actions, making it essential for you to seek support. And you know that that had nothing to do with you but the other person. Do you know, I remember the day that my husband beat me up so badly that he broke my ribs. I remember him clearly saying, "This is your fault, this is your fault. This would never have happened if you hadn't done da-di-da-di-da-di-da." Of course, it was all lies, honestly. But it's like nothing was ever going to be his fault. But that's the way the marriage had been. I was always being blamed. There was nothing ever his fault. So ladies, please look out. If you're always being blamed, that is a huge red flag as well. That could escalate into violence. Please look after yourselves. And so as we wrap up, I would just like to say, remember that your safety and happiness are paramount, especially if there are children around as well. You have to look after yourselves. As women, we tend to ignore these signs. And what do we tell ourselves? Oh, he's going to change. Oh, that was nothing. Oh, and we go on just giving excuses. What that means is that you have gotten used to being abused. You've become an abused woman. Please, no matter how much you love him, and at this point, love has got nothing to do with it. If somebody can go around beating you or abusing you or blaming you, ladies, run. That is not a marriage or a relationship you want to commit to. Please just stop, because it will get worse. You're only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Please, if you're in this particular space, do not go down that road. Don't. Because you're walking right into a situation that you now know will escalate. It will. So you have to look after yourself, and if they're children, your children. And the other thing is, do not hesitate to seek support. Seek support, yeah? Reach out to friends, family, professionals. Get online. There's so much going on online. Look for help. Don't commit, please. It will get worse. If you have found this information valuable, please like, share, comment, so that, let us support each other. And subscribe for more content that can help empower you to live a life of purpose. Let us not get into relationships that are going to be beating the living daylights out of us. No, you have been forewarned. Do something, make wise decisions with what you already know. Don't go down there. So till next time, you take care. God bless you, and shalom, shalom.